Hey y'all. Hey. What is up? It's your girl Shay. I'm here, ready. Y'all are in my little home office. So, welcome. Today we are going to talk about getting that book published. Boo. It's time to do it. You've been waiting, you've been talking about it. It's time to get that thing done, honey. It is time. Okay. So we are going to actually um, do this thing together, myself and Tiffany D of Tiffany D Consulting. She is going to be joining us, getting on this thing here, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be amazing. So just going to give it a few minutes, let some people make their way here to join us. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day, a beautiful day, intentionally getting some things done. Thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for being here. Yeah. So we're just waiting for another moment or so before we get started. Tiffany should be joining here shortly. Now, don't fall cord. It's not what I need in my life. Alrighty. Hey y'all. Hey. Welcome. I can't see who's here. So if you hear me, let me know that you hear me. Drop a hey, I can hear you in the comments. Let me know that you're here. Want to make sure you can hear me. Testing. Well, let me know if you can hear me. Drop a I can hear you in the chat. Hey, how you doing? Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Trying to give it another moment here. Giving Tiffany a chance to get here so we can get this thing started. That's actually what I was getting ready to do, follow up with her. So, again, I'm sure you're here because you saw what the flyer was about and you know that we're going to get some things talked about as far as publishing these books. You've been talking about it for too long and now it's time to get it done. Okay, great. I'm glad you can hear me. Good, because I didn't want to be too soft or the music too loud while we wait on a few more people to join in. I'm glad you can hear me. Good. So, have you already, anybody in here that's here already, have you guys already started writing? Or are you just in the beginning stages of gathering information? Tell me a little bit while we wait. What stage are you at, if you don't mind sharing? It's a safe place, but no pressure. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You grown. You don't have to share if you don't want to. But I would love to know. So if you feel comfortable sharing, let me know, boo. I'm interested. I want to know so we can make sure we provide you with the most valuable information. Okay, that's just my phone. Okay, looks like we're having some technical difficulties. So Tiffany's here. We're trying to get her in. Trying to get Tiffany added in here. Okay, okay, cool. Cool. You self pub. So sorry, y'all, because I'm just responding and I didn't even read what I'm responding to. So yes. So one of the participants self published in 2011, and that's really cool. Just here for an update on the process and ready to get book number 2 done. That's what's up, boo. I'm proud of you. Keep going. Keep it going. I'm trying to add Tiffany. She's here. But for whatever reason, I can't get her up here. So that's not a good thing. We need Tiffany to be up here on the stage with us. Cause she a part of this thing. And I don't like that. Okay. But in the meantime, and in between time, I will share a little bit about myself so I can go ahead and get this thing started while we still trying to figure out how to get Tiffany added up here. Um, so my name is Shay Cole. I am a self-published author and writer, and also a poet. So I've been self-publishing books since 2014, and here are a few of my books here. I've released uh, an ebook on blogging, which is free on my website. I released another ebook that basically is about motivating your friends, letting them know that there's always somebody there for them. It's a quick read, downloadable. It's also free on my website. My third ebook is on Amazon, and it's entitled Heaven on Earth. It was created to just kind of give, like, tell a little story about a girl who just didn't feel like making it out the hood was enough, and she wanted to do more. Mediocrity was not something she wanted to settle for. So that's where Heaven on Earth came from. Now, these books, my paperback books that I released the first 3 books on Amazon exclusively. The last book, I did not go exclusively through Amazon. I went through a different distribution company, which I will get into later. I went into a different distribution company, and I'm really proud that I did and glad that I did, because it's been a completely different type of process. And I'm really grateful for learning about it the way that I did. Trial and error is how I learned about a lot of a lot of book publishing and what it takes to get into to the to the market, get your books on the market. Um, I'm really trying my best to figure out how to get Tiffany up here. I don't know what to do about this. Um, yeah, I don't know what to do about this. So, if y'all didn't know, this is my first time being on YouTube Live, honey, and I appreciate all of y'all for being here. But yeah, I want Tiffany to be up here with me because she just self-published her book, and I want her to share her experience. Her book just was released in January of this year, January 6th, The Gratitude Journal, and it's a beautiful book. I would love for her to be able to share about her experience, and I need to figure out a way to get her up here with me. If any of y'all who are watching this know how to um help me with this process, please let me know, honey, because I'm clueless and I really don't want to keep her out. I want to get her up here. So That's really what I want to do. But in the meantime, I will give you some information on her. Oh, Tiffany, your cousin, that's what's up. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I appreciate your support as well. That's really sweet. I really want her to be able to come up here and tell y'all herself. I do have some information from her, so I will give y'all the information that I have since I cannot figure out how to get her up here, which is really frustrating for me. Oh, she your cousin too. See, thank you for being here. That's what's up. Awesome. Or just saying you support us both. Either way, it's still awesome. Thank you. Oh no, she your cousin. Okay. That's what's up. That's cool. I appreciate y'all for being so supportive of her. That's amazing. So let me tell y'all a little bit about Tiffany. Tiffany is a life coach and an educator, and I'm really, really excited to get into the gratitude journal. She disclosed to me that they do her and her family do gratitude every night, and it was something that led her to want to share that gift with the world. In addition to her educational services that she provides, she hosts these courses and classes where they use gratitude journals a lot. And she wanted to create her own. So I commend her. That's a beautiful thing to see a void and fill it. See a need. Okay, Tiffany calling me now. Hey, Tiffany. Tiffany, can you hear me? Okay. Okay, awesome. I'll go ahead and put you on because they watching me answer your call on the thing. So I'll go ahead and put you on speaker. All righty. Yay. I got Tiffany here. She's on speaker, you guys. So unfortunately, y'all just got to look at me. Y'all don't get to see her beautiful face, but we got her voice at least. So I'm glad about that. Yay. Everybody. Oh my gosh. Your mom is in here, Tiffany.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Lauren Shayal is here.
Yes.
I thank everybody for showing up. I greatly appreciate you all for coming to support Shay and I. We really appreciate that. This means a lot to both of us. So I'll give you a little background about myself. As Shay already started, I am a certified life coach as well as a positive discipline parenting educator. And in 2020, I opened my own consulting firm called Tiffany D Consulting. You can look me up on the web. I'm on the web. I'm on Facebook, TikTok. And how I got started with the gratitude journal that I just recently published was my family and I do gratitude every night. So every day it is necessary for us to be thankful for something that we do in our life in that particular day. So we do that every day. And the gratitude journal is called Start Every Day with Gratitude, and you can order that on Amazon as well. So I thank you for taking the time to put this together, Shay, and I thank everyone for joining us today.
Oh, truly my pleasure. Truly my pleasure. I am actually going to get the link to Tiffany's book on Amazon and drop it in the comments so that anybody that wants to grab it, you can go ahead and click that link and order her gratitude journal. I am so proud of you, Tiffany. That's amazing. So since I have you on the phone, I can't pull up my little cheat sheet.
Mine, don't worry. Okay. So our intros, thank you. So Shay, I'm gonna start with you. How did you get published? How did you start?
So my little publishing story. I was just starting to share that I wrote with a lot of people after being a housewife and going through a tumultuous marriage and it ending. And me going back into the workforce, I started to talk to people more and started to share a little bit more about myself. And people started learning that I was a writer. So they wanted to know what I wrote. So I would share. And the more I shared, the more I was encouraged to publish a book. I was completely clueless. All I had was my tons of notebooks full of stuff. And I didn't know where to go, who to talk to, how to get it done. I was like, okay, you just what? What? So from there, I just basically started doing Google research, how to write a book, how to put it together. And I don't like to read a lot. I know, don't judge me, but I don't like to read a lot. And I am not like, I won't be going for my PhD because I don't like research. Okay. So let's just say that not liking research is not always beneficial when you're trying to start something that you've never done. So it was really hard for me the first time. I didn't know what to do, how to do it. I used Google for a lot of my research. And of course, Google provides you with information from an abundance an abundant amount of people. So you getting information from sources from everywhere. Everybody's telling you how they did it. And you have to find the right thing that's for you. So this book was hard. Hard for me to publish. I didn't know what to do. There's no I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's no book info in the front. Like, I tried to do a table of contents, and like there's no book meat in the front. Like, there's no info. Like, I didn't know how to get things done. There's no picture of me on the back. I didn't know how to write. It's a bio, but it looks like just like an overall synopsis. And as I continued to progress, I learned how to make those changes. But I ended up just going through Amazon the first time. Just getting on Amazon, going through Kindle Direct Publishing, which most of us just refer to as KDP. Went through there, and that's how I, got started. I did my Google research, compiled some poems from my journals that I had, and wrote some brief little summaries of how I wanted the book to go. And that's pretty much what I did. I just put it out. Just put it out.
Great job, Shay.
So how about you? How did you get published? How did you publish your first book?
So with my first book, I actually took a class in December with a TikToker named April Franks, Aprille Franks. And with that, she taught us how to create our own journals. So I said, if I have the knowledge, I have to share the knowledge. I created the journal. I was in the process of creating a class for my journal writing to add to my parenting class. So it worked out perfectly for me. So I went to journal. And with that, I went through Amazon as well, KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing, KDP, and self-published within a week. And that was the gist of it. It was so exciting. It was so elating to create this journal.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So your process was a lot different. Did you feel like you were more prepared to go through that journey by going through the class?
I did, and I didn't, because I'm the type of person that I have to research and have knowledge from A through Z, 1 through 25. I need all the steps covered before I decide what I'm going to do. And she just said, do it. stop being overloaded with knowledge and just do it. And so I did not inform anyone in my family that I was doing it. My son was the only person who had knowledge of it. And I created the journal, and he assisted me with the cover. So I have to give a shout out to my child, Noah, who was the inspiration behind the gratitude journal.
That's awesome. That's what's up. That's amazing. That's pretty cool. So, do you feel like you will, since you had such a great experience with your son creating this book and him helping with the cover, do you feel like you would use him in the future for your future books that you decide to do?
Actually, he's been talking about which book are we writing next? Could we write a children's book? I'm like, okay. So I'm glad that he's learning the process and he's getting into it just like I am. He's on the ground. He's on the forefront. He's even out there marketing the gratitude journal at school to his instructors as well as his classmates.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That is awesome. That is awesome. Hey, I mean, like, that fills me up. I love kids, and I love kids with purpose and intention. Like, that's amazing. And Good job to you and your husband on raising him to be such a wonderful child. That's what's up.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Shay, I'm going to ask you, so speak on your publishing company, because a lot of people don't know that you have your own publishing company. So can you tell us more about that, please?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I actually started my publishing company after I released my first book. So my subsequent books were released under my publishing company. And basically, what that means is every book has an ISBN number on the back of it. That's your identifier. So that's pretty much your book's ID. And the ID is connected to whoever publishes your book, whoever publishes your work. So when I went on Amazon with this book the first time, I didn't have my publishing company. I didn't know what I was doing. I just put the book out. And so when I went, an ISBN is required for any book. Ebooks are not required to have ISBNs, but you can have ISBNs for ebooks. Any kind of print book, calendar, journal, periodical, they all have to have ISBN numbers. So with that, when you go on Amazon to publish your book, they're going to ask you, hey, what's your ISBN number? If you don't have one, you can go here to buy one. They'll give you the website. It's a link right there for you to go to Bowker, Bowker. I'll put it in the chat here shortly. You can go to Bowker identifier and buy your own ISBNs, or you can go through Amazon. They provide you with an ISBN, but they will be linked to your ISBN. It'll come up and say that it's an independent publisher, but on the backside, they are actually the person who's published your book. So they, on the backside, are your publisher. So it's kind of like a twisted kind of thing. If you don't know about it, you kind of won't know about it. So I decided to do a publishing company so that I can own my ISBNs, so that for myself and anybody that decides to have me write books for them, I'll have those ISBNs. And if they decide that they want to start their publishing company, I'll walk them through the process of how to get their own, set it up, and keep it for themselves. So if I decided that I wanted to go back and republish this book, I have ISBN numbers now under my company. So I could just republish this book as a second edition, or add something to it and change the cover, or I could add something to the title. If this book makes it to me to be a bestseller, I can go back and add best-selling author to all of my previous books and re-release them. So it's cool to be able to have a publishing company, because you get to do a little bit more than if you don't. So it's kind of like having a cheat code, so to speak.
That is great information.
Thank you.
So what services do you provide as a publisher?
So for my clients, if anyone decides that they want to book me to be a writer for them, they have a choice of having full authorship or sole authorship, where they're listed on the cover as the writer and I just pretty much ghostwrite for them. Or they have the option to credit me as the writer and them be credited as the writer as well, or get credit for being a contributor to the book as well, by listing them as, in the manner of as told by, or listing me in a manner such as transcribed by or written by or something like that. So my clients have those two options. I take them from start to finish. So we start with a consultation. From the consultation, we go through an outline. I actually have a client who I'm working with now. So we have created her an outline based on these notes. I took a lot of notes. I can't leave it up there too long because I can't let nobody see what I'm working on. But I did take these notes and created an outline for her. And after I created that outline, I basically went to work, started writing, researching. She gave me some information on how books that she liked and the direction that she wanted to go with her book. So I started doing research for her. I don't mind doing research for other people, honey. I just don't like it for me. But I was doing research for her and found out the information 10 days after our initial start date. She received her update, which was yesterday. So she's received her first update. And after that, we'll just keep going, knocking it down. She told me what day she wanted to have her book released. And we built an outline backwards from her release date. So since she wants to release at the top of next year, we need to work all of this year to make sure that that release date at the top of next year is phenomenal. So we go through the marketing process, things that you need to do, ways to become a bestseller, all those different things. I do help with editing. I do help with cover art. I do help with marketing. I do help with, if the client wants an author website, I do help them with that as well. I help my clients as much as I can for as long as I can. And I feel like that's something that I didn't have. So I try to provide a lot of what I didn't have to my clients. I'm also a promotional products distributor. So if they want to set up a table, if they need banners, pens, notebooks, mugs, whatever they need, I can provide it for them. So I try to be a one-stop shop for my clients. If they come to me, they shouldn't have to go to anywhere else.
That is great to know, Shay. I will keep that in mind for myself as well. How much did it cost you from start to finish to publish your book?
So now that's a good question, because the first book, it really didn't cost me too much of anything. I think I probably spent more money in printing out my personal manuscripts, so I could have it. That's probably where I spent the most money publishing my first book. But again, everything was done through Amazon, and I did not have all of my stuff set up. With the last book, the most recent book that I published, this book is costing me more to market, to produce, and it wasn't that expensive to set up. I used Ingramspark as a distributor, and I love them. Okay, so Ingramspark is who I will use for my clients. Okay, I love Ingramspark because they literally put you everywhere. When I released this book, it was $50 to set it up for the print and the ebook version. With that $50, that pays for all of this stuff to be set up and distributed everywhere. Then you pay for your ISBNs and your barcodes. Barcodes are like $25 a piece. ISBNs are a couple $100. All in all, the process is roughly, it can range between about $500 to $1,500 just to get it done, depending on what you're doing. So if you're only doing ebooks, it's fairly inexpensive. If you're doing hardcover, it's a little bit more expensive. Just for example, I don't mean to keep going back, but I feel like it's a relevant example. This book was done on Amazon. no spine information. I didn't know a lot about this book. This book cost me about $3 to print through Amazon for my author copies, my direct copies that I get from me to be able to resell. Now, going through Ingramspark, Ingramspark is the only people that will be able to print these books for me, just like Amazon are the only ones who can print those, unless I go through a private printer and give them all my files, which is also an option. But this book, much more, aesthetically pleasing, has all the info it needs, way better done, much better quality. I mean, the cover. So this book cost me about $11 to print for my author copies, but that book sells for $15 and this one sells for $25. This book only cost me about $3 or $4 to print per copy, and it sells for $10. So, I mean, it really depends on who you're going with and the quality of the books. Because I know you guys don't see a glare at all off of this one, but there's a huge, massive glare, and you can see how the cover is bending. And this one, I mean, it's a grave difference in the quality of the books. So I think and then my books are thin. I don't write big thick books. So yeah, it wasn't expensive. It wasn't that expensive going through Amazon. It was more expensive going through Ingramspark, but it's more worth it for me to go through Ingramspark.
Okay. Now, for me, I did Amazon for my gratitude journal. Mm-hmm. And with that, it did not cost me anything. I did the cover on Canva. Mm-hmm. Created the inside of the pages, dropped them into a PDF file, mm-hmm. and placed it into the KDP for Amazon. Mm-hmm. I have the paperback version, and when we talk later, I'll tell you more. But for the paperback version, it's a great cover. The cover is great. I didn't put a bio in it, so I just wanted it to be a gratitude journal, nothing about me. Mm-hmm. On the back, I have my name, Tiffany D, which is my brand. And on the front, it just says gratitude journal, start every day with gratitude. And it's a lovely cover. It's very peaceful and serene. Again, Amazon PDF file, drop ship. I don't have to worry about any of that. So the cost for me was actually zero. Mm-hmm. Zero to create my journal. It sells for $7.99 on Amazon. So you're more than welcome to purchase on Amazon if you haven't already, and utilize the gratitude journal. Every page is the same. It's the quote of the day, the date. Today I am truly grateful for. Here's what would make today great. I am some amazing things that happened today, and what could I have done to make today even better? So those 6 questions in the book, and that was it.
That's awesome. That I really feel like that's the best way to go for if you're just getting started and you really don't know. Me personally, that was the best way for me to go. It was the most inexpensive way. It made the most sense. And no overhead. Like you said, you don't have to have inventory. You don't have to keep up with anything. You don't have to worry about no orders being placed. You don't have to worry about fulfilling no orders. All you got to do is sit back and get your royalties.
Exactly. There was no drop shipping costs. There was nothing that I had to come out of pocket on. And Amazon takes care of all of that. So they bind it, spine it, and it's a great cover and ship it off for me. And then I get the gratitude behind it when people tell me how much they enjoyed the book.
Awesome. That's good. I'm really happy to hear that, Tiffany.
Thank you. Likewise, Shay. Okay, we've answered a few questions from the audience. Does anyone else have any questions that they would like to ask put it in the chat, and we'll answer those for you too. So we have another question from the audience. We answered, how long does it take? Oh, we didn't. I'm sorry. How long does it take from start to finish to publish a book?
I'll let you answer that. For you, how long did it take you? Because you took a class and you said you finished yours fairly quickly, right?
Correct. For me, after the class, and the class was a 1-day class, 2 hours max. And with that, it took me about a week to finish it. And the hardest part was us deciding on what kind of cover to create for the journal. That was the hardest part. And then once you place it into the KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing, once you insert it into there, it takes anywhere from 48 hours to, I would say, 72 for it to be published. So by January 6th, the book was published. And I dropped it in there, I want to say, on the 2nd of January.
Wow. So your process was fairly quick.
Yeah. How long did it take for you with Ingramspark?
Well, it really just depended on me. I actually had my book completed and set up in there ahead of time before the release date. And I had my release date set for a specific date. So it was actually available before it was on sale. But the process is still pretty much the same. Ingramspark, you set it up the same way. The only difference is you pay for the plug. In order for you to plug your information in and it to be able to go anywhere, you have to pay for that part. That's essentially the only difference. The time is pretty much the same if you're not setting something up for a later release date. The time is still pretty much the same. Process is still pretty much the same. Yeah, everything else is still the same outside of you having to pay for it.
Okay. We have another question. Do you publish books using your own name or a pen name?
So I've done books a number of different ways. I think my first 2 books have my full name. Like, you got my full name on my first 2 books. So you got Shaquanda Cole. Now, that's not the case on my children's book. When I wrote my first children's book, I did not use my full name. I used Shaquanda Marie. It just seemed like it was a little bit more softer. I don't know, more relatable to kids, I guess. I don't know. Okay. But this book, I used what everybody calls me, Shay Cole. So I think it just depends on what your purpose is as an author. If you're for example, when my son ran track, there was a mom on the team who wrote books under a pen name because she wrote smut novels and didn't want people to know it was her. So I think that's just an individual thing. If you feel like you want people to know, if you want that recognition as you being the author, then why not use your name or a variation of it? Why not? For me, it just made sense. I mean, for each one of my books, it just made sense to do it the way that I did. But I probably won't use my full name anymore for authoring. I'll probably stick with Shay Cole for authoring from this point on, just because it's a little bit easier on the tongue.
For me, I do Tiffany D, and that's because that's my brand name, Tiffany D. I've been going by Tiffany D in the public sector for over 20 plus years. And that's what employers, companies, and anytime I do speaking engagements, they know me as Tiffany D. So for me, it's my brand name. Mm. It's also a variation of my name, but it's my brand name. So it depends on what you feel comfortable with. Mm-hmm. If you choose to do your name or if you choose to do a pen name because you don't want people to know you in a sense of knowing who you are, then I would suggest a pen name. Right. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's cool that that is something that I definitely push to my clients who don't know if they want to write a book yet, but they, have a brand and it's based off their name, or use that. I love when people can use their names in their businesses. It makes it so much easier. And it's just an easy way to, like you said, those people know you by that. Your colleagues, your coworkers, your people, the business people who hire you, your contractors, they know you by that name because that's your business. So if you turn that whole business name into an author, like you just made yourself an expert in your field. Like a lot of people don't realize that. You literally just made yourself an expert in your field. So
exactly. So Shay, what were your goals for writing your book?
So girl, okay. Now, I'm going to be quick on this because I'm long-winded unnecessarily and unintentionally. My first book was like my introduction. It was me accepting my gift as a writer and putting my gift out for other people to share. And I've always known since I was young that my life is not just for me. I'm living for other people because I'm here to help. I'm here to guide, lead, strengthen, encourage, motivate. That's my purpose, a part of it. So I knew that I had to put it out and, help people change their lives through words. So my first book was just me getting it out. And like I said, accepting my gift. My second book was like, hey, we doing some stuff as people that need to change. We keeping ourselves in these negative situations. And if we just change the way we thought about certain things, we wouldn't allow other things to happen. So that's the motivation behind my second book. My third book, the children's book, I just wanted children to be comfortable with being who they are and being comfortable speaking up when things are not okay. As a child of trauma, it was hard for me to speak up and feel like I was heard because when I spoke, I was ignored. So I wanted to write to children and let them know, hey, speak up when something's not okay, because there is somebody listening. My last book, okay, baby, this one gonna have to be a movie because I wrote that book. It's based on my story as a military wife. I was in an abusive marriage, married to my kid's father, and girl, it was that's a whole nother life. But I wrote that book to share my story and to encourage people. You don't have to stay where you at. You can change your situation. I have this thing called Change My Statistics, where like my statistics won't be single mom, no father in the home. You won't be talking about those statistics for me. You're going to be talking about self-published author, successful business owner, single mom and such. You're not going to be saying, well, she was on what? Nah, you're not going to be listing me like this here. You're going to be, yes, and she's doing, and she's giving. So that's why I wrote my books in their own rights. All of them have something to do with me, what I went through, and expressing myself, and hopefully trying to change the conversations for other people.
Awesome. And what do I always say? Slay, Shay, slay. I love it. Slay, Shay. Yes. So that is great. The reason that what were my goals for writing my book?
Yes,
one, because we do gratitude journal. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people don't know. I had a major surgery this summer. And at one point, I did not think I was going to make it. And with that, I wanted my son to have something that he can hold on to and to share, not just the memories, but something that he can pass on to his children when he finally gets to that point to have a family. And I wanted him to know how grateful I was that he was my child. I wanted my husband to know how grateful I was that he was there to support me through this whole ordeal. So anytime we got a chance, we would sit around the table and I would honestly say how grateful I was for something that they did that day, how they showed up, whatever happened that day. I was just so fulfilled that I had those two people there with me to go through the experience. So after I finished or we started doing Grateful, I would incorporate if someone calls while we're in the midst of about to do Grateful, hey, you want to join us in our Grateful? And they're like, yeah, okay. So they would be like, oh my God, I really felt the love and the gratitude that you all shared when you talk about how you're grateful for. And my son would say things like, I'm grateful that my mom picked me up from school today. Like, how awesome is that? Because that's something that we just take for granted to say, I got to go pick him up. Right. Or, you know, my mom's picking me up. So for him to say, I'm grateful that you took the time out of your day to come get me, that's amazing to me that he felt the gratefulness or the gratitude just in that. So how could you be upset when you go get a kid and they're telling you they're grateful that you picked them up from school? So things like that. And I said, let me incorporate this into my parenting classes, because I always tell them in the parenting classes to find a place or something that you can say every day to your children. So why not incorporate gratitude? We've had a long 2 years. It seems like infinity. Yeah. So just being here in the midst of a pandemic is grateful and gratitude enough. So with that, I think for me, the whole journal, the gratitude journal, was just right on time, learning and releasing it and then incorporating it into a class was just right on time and magnificent to see the fruits of how it has grown.
Yeah. That's awesome. You can't try and make me cry like that on live no more, Tiffany.
I know. I get teary-eyed too. I'm like, oh, thank God I'm offline.
Girl, I was like, I'm glad I can't see her because she had to keep looking down like, oh, child.
I know. So we're going to change the topic a little bit. So how did you market and promote your book? Oh, this was a good question. How did you market and promote your book, Shay? Your books, because you have, 4 books out, right?
Yes. I have 4 paperbacks and a few ebooks that are out. I have a total of 7. It seems weird to me saying that, honestly. Like I told you the other day, I laugh a lot because I'm uncomfortable with certain things and I don't know how to respond all the time. So I laugh a lot of stuff off. But when you said something to me, I don't know, it might have been the first couple times you said slay, and I was like, girl, what? I'm average out here. And it was, people keep reminding me like, hey, you got stuff that you've done. So that still is, kind of sinking in a little bit. So I appreciate you for that. I really, truly, truly appreciate you for that. You don't even understand how much that means. So how did I promote and market my books? So the first one, I was at work. I lived in Georgia working for the state. So I just talked about it to my coworkers. I didn't really put that much effort into marketing really any of my books in the beginning. Now, this one is my baby. This book right here is my baby. The first three are like, they like Plan B kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wanted to have them, but you really didn't. So I love them just the same. But this one right here, I have marketed this book in a whole nother way. I mean, and then not only that, I have a team now. It's about 2 or 3 people, but they help me market. I did create a press release for this book. I did not put it out, but I did create one. So I do have it ready.
Okay, Shay, we're going to have to get that out within the next 30 days.
Girl, I released this book in October. It's January. I still ain't. Now, mind you.
30 days.
Yes, okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I don't take care of myself as much as I take care of other people. So I have all this information and all these tools and all this stuff, and I know how to do all this stuff, and I just drag my feet when it comes to me. But this book, I have been marketing a lot more, a whole lot more. And if you follow me on Instagram or anything like that, you'll see on my business page, you'll see that I have started back to, give more of myself to, to this, because this book right here, I know that it has already changed a lot of lives. A lot of people have already come to me immediately. I did pre-orders for this book, honey. And
awesome.
this book, when the people got the pre-orders, like I was getting text messages. My phone was blowing up. My Instagram, my Facebook, like people were going crazy. Like, oh my gosh, the people that have wrote reviews on Amazon, I couldn't put it down. I read it all in one reading. Like, it's like I love this book so much because it touches so many people. It's like a Lifetime movie before it went to Netflix. You know what I'm saying? It's
okay.
I promote this one more so through social media, word of mouth, street team. Like I said, I do have my media kit and my book release information. I have all that stuff. I just honestly I didn't know who to send it to. So I didn't send it nowhere because I was like, who I send it to? I don't want to send it to 50 people and I only really need to send it to 2. They just gonna waste it, and I need to send it to these 2 people so they can send it to the 50 and then make more of an impact. So
exactly.
That's kind of why I didn't send anything out. But I really market social media heavily on social media, word of mouth, my own merch. You know what I'm saying? I use moments like this to market it as much as I can, networking when I'm out places. I used to keep a copy before I had to sell it. I used to keep a copy of this book with me so that when people would, talk to me, I'd be like, hey, have you, I wrote this book. You want to read it? Like, that book really brought me out of my shell, honestly, because you couldn't get me on the street to sell these books. Not now one of them. This one right here, baby, you can get me to go anywhere about that book. Anywhere. So I want to know, since you released yours just a few weeks ago, and you took your class and released it so quick, how did marketing go for you? Like, did you have a plan ahead of time, or did you just kind of create stuff after you got it done?
That's a great question. I was actually fearful of marketing. And I have an aunt, my Aunt Darlene. I told her I wrote the book. And she was like so ecstatic and started crying and telling me how proud she was. And she went online and brought it right then and there. And I was like, okay, that's just my aunt, right? So of course she's going to do it. So I told my parents, my brother, my cousin-in-law, who's on the line too. I told her, and it was, I think, the day before her birthday, I told her as well. And I did not start marketing for 6 whole days before I told anybody. The book was released on the 6th of this month, January. And I did not tell my first person until the 12th of January that I released the book. And I was fearful. And I was like, now, Tiffany, your job, you used to market for other companies, big name, Fortune 500 companies that you can go out there and sell them with a quickness and have people buying them. Startup companies, you were selling them in a quickness and had people wanting to invest in these companies. You need to turn that around and do it for yourself. So I went on Facebook. I did a post that night and informed everybody about my gratitude journal. Social media has been my way. Thank you. And Shay and I belong to a group, a subgroup from a big group. Right. We broke off into a fraction of Mommy's group. And I said, let me let them know. And Shay was the first one like, hey, oh my God, we got to do something. And I said, let me share this with the rest of the world. I cannot sit on this. So I've basically been marketing through social media, going out word of mouth right now, but more so social media. And yeah, social media and word of mouth. And I have wonderful family and friends, and then I belong to the Red Hatters. So I've been just, any organization I belong to, I kind of just let them know. And if they buy it, they buy it and support me and my son, then I'm great. I'm grateful for it. But social media has been the biggest marketing resource at this moment.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. That is so cool, girl. I don't know how you did that. 6 whole days and you ain't tell nobody.
Not even my parents, and my mother would tell anybody. She'd be like, Tiffany cannot hold water. I have been holding this and holding it. I get in my older age and now I want to keep secrets.
And that's a secret, honey, because, woo, child, I'd have been like, I wrote a book.
Yes. So I am excited about promoting the book now. So we're going to kind of wrap things up because it is now 1:57.
Yes.
But we've had so much fun, and I hope everybody on here learned something about publishing their book and about our project. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to talk about what are your next projects coming up.
Well, me personally, I am really excited to work on this project for my client that I was briefly trying not to show y'all, but show y'all. She's hired me to write a devotional for her that she's trying to release top of next year. I'm really excited to be able to market it and show it because it's the first book that my publishing company will release for another author. So I'm really excited about that. The other thing is, like I told y'all, this book right here, my baby, my real kid. So that one I've taken 4 master classes, screenwriting, writing for television, songwriting and production, and creating from whatever Issa Rae class is, honey. Issa Rae master class.
Oh, wow. Okay, you have to share that information.
It's all through Masterclass. Masterclass.com is where I signed up for it. And it's a membership for a year. I signed up, and you can literally learn from anybody. I learned from Aaron Sorkin for screenwriting, Shonda Rhimes for television, Alicia Keys for songwriting, and Issa Rae for creating. Those 4 masterclasses really ignited a spark. It was that long wick that I've been waiting to get lit, got lit with those 4 master classes. So I'm really excited to turn this baby right here into a script, honey. That's my next project outside of me taking on writing clients who want their books created and who need content for their websites and so on and so forth. I'm doing this book into a script, honey. This has to be a movie. My situation was I'm so grateful I survived. I'm so grateful my kids survived, and I'm so grateful that we are where we are. This has to be a movie because a book is not doing it justice. You have to see how this played out. So somebody said a detailed step-by-step guide and templates. Okay, Sterling, let me reach out to me offline, Sterling. Let me see if I can help you with some stuff. I may be able to send you some things that I've used for my clients before, without you having to hire us or do all that. I may be able to send you some stuff that I've used for my clients before and see if that can help you get started. Just reach out to me offline. TheRealShayisms@gmail.com. I'll type it in here. Tiffany,
Yes.
it's on you, darling. What you working on, and what you got coming up?
Okay. What do I have coming up? So with that, I am revealing right now. We have another journal in the making. It's a fitness journal, and we have a children's book. And here's the funny thing about it. I actually wrote a children's book 20-something plus years ago in undergrad.
Wow.
I was an early education teacher, and for me completing my class, I had to create a book. So last summer, my son finally saw the book, and it was, how you just have things buried away.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Wow, Mom, could you create me a book?" And I was like, "Of course." So I said, why not we both create the book together? So we are in the process of creating a children's book, one, and my next journal that comes out will be a fitness journal. Yay! And I am doing a class for gratitude journal, a gratitude class, which will be incorporated into my parenting classes, and it will be online starting February 1st, and the fitness journal should be out February 15th. I am in the process of having that created as we speak, and the children's book should be out March 1st with a pre-order of February 20th.
Okay, Tiffany came in and said, "Look here, I'm not about to be a first-time author. I'm about to be an author." Okay?
Yeah.
Do it, honey. That's what's up.
So I am so excited about everything that we've gone through. Like I always say, slay, Shay, slay, girl, slay. I love it. We have done wonderful things. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your kindness as well as your gratitude in being a friend from the Mommies group. Just coming out the gate strong. I mean, Shay, you were like, let's do this. And I think that was on a Wednesday, and we put this together from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night until today. And we slayed. We slayed.
I'm so proud. I'm really proud because usually I flake and be like, "Girl, I'm too tired. I don't feel like it." But we did it. We at the end now.
Does anyone have any other questions? I see Sterling had a question. Okay, Shay answered that. Thank you, Sterling. Thank you, Dwayne, Patricia. I'll just say Ma. La, thank you so much. Who is that? Vector? I can't see.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming out. Shay, do you have any closing words?
Thank y'all. I truly thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate you for listening to the calling that was put on you, because had you not ever said anything in that group, we wouldn't even be here. So I really appreciate you, uh, for everything. I thank all of you for coming in here. I thank you for staying the entire time. that means a lot. Thank y'all for being here and for watching. Please feel free to share if you think this is something that can help other people. Again, I dropped Tiffany's link in the chat. Feel free to share that information with everybody you know. Let them know about her gratitude journal. It's a really, really good book. Let them know about her classes if they're in her area, so she can get, some people together, them and their families together with gratitude. Get them back here. You know what I'm saying? The world has tried to split up families for so long. We need something to bring us back together. So help some families get back together with this gratitude journal now. Share the link now.
Thank you. And so, Shay, promote your books and give us your contact information, and then I'm going to give my contact information, and we are going to be out.
Yes. So, Shayisms, this is how you spell it, same as on the YouTube channel. TheRealShayisms.com is the website, and The Real Shayisms across the board is how you find me on all social media. My books are available on my website. All 7 of them. So the free copies as well. If you're interested in just getting a little bit of motivation, Between Friends is the book you need to look for, search for on my website. I appreciate y'all again. Shayisms. Get you some merch from my website. Tiffany, back to you.
Thank you. So mine is TiffanyDConsulting.org. TD Consulting. You can find me on TikTok, Facebook, my website. You can contact me personally at 615-259-6099. I'm in the Nashville area, but I do travel to go and promote and do classes in different states. I've been to Washington, I've been to Illinois, and I am willing to travel if you need me to come out and do any classes in Carolina, Mississippi. I'm located south now, so I'm more than happy to come out and do classes, or via Zoom if you would like to have a class via Zoom. Again, Gratitude Journal, you can find that on Amazon. And thank you all for coming.
Thank you, guys.
Yay!
Also,